spine should hopefully have movement in them. Great, so let's come to stillness. And now we're going to take that flexion and we're going to rock back and forth on our sit bones in our lower spine. So if my pelvis was a bowl of oranges, I'm going to roll the oranges out of the bowl and roll them back into the bowl. And this is my area of threat, but I have to move it because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to move something. So we have to rock through that movement. And you can inhale up and exhale back again. Good. And then as you're rocking, make the movement smaller and smaller until you find what feels like neutrality. So like neutral spine. Whatever that is for you. Great. Now we're going to stretch up to the ceiling and make our torso really long. Keep your torso long, but just drop your arms and shoulders down over top of that. Great. Notice if you left your shoulders by your ears or if you allowed them to fall. Let's try that again. So we're going to raise our arms up. Feel how lifted your rib cage is. Leave it there, but drop your arms and shoulders down. No tension in the neck or the shoulders. Great. And let's make sure we're not using the backs of our chair if we don't need to. Another way to feel that would be arms out to the side, palms down. And then I want you to rotate your palms to the ceiling. So feeling broad from shoulder to shoulder. I'm going to drop my arms down. Good, so let's stand up. And let's see if we can feel that again. So arms out, rotating our palms to the ceiling. Heart open. Great. Who felt tight across here when they did that? When you did this, who felt tight? Did anybody feel tight across here in your muscles?
Like here.
Yeah, in here.
Shoulder.
Yeah, right. So this might be something your body needs, right? Yeah, and drop the arms down. Very good. Okay, good. And then you can, if you want, just walk a few steps as if, you're balancing the book or you've just been crowned. And what does that feel like to hold that length in your spine? Is it different than what you normally do? Does it feel different to you? Where does it feel like you're leading from now? Yeah, good. You can come back to your chair. Great. Just like a hand in the air if that felt different to you. Yeah. Nobody? Raise your hand if it felt different to do that, to walk in that space and have that alignment.
Yeah. It felt very intentional.
Yeah. Great. And I love that word because speaking, go ahead and sit. Speaking is something I think that we can take for granted. Our voices are there, we use them all day. How intentional can we be about that? Same thing about our breath, which we'll get to here in a second. So that's the alignment piece. Can we feel stacked? So even just throughout the week, you can pick one thing that I talked about, and you can try to apply that. Can I walk from the kitchen to my office, or whatever? Can I walk through the grocery store with a little bit more intentionality and be aligned and not just be pushing my cart and hoping nobody talks to me? So, great. And then the anchoring piece is what I want to talk about too. So remember, anchoring was adding stability to the body. So people often talk about supporting the voice. What does that even mean? I don't know. But it's a combination of things. It is breath. We can say breathe from the diaphragm, whatever that means too. We're always breathing from the diaphragm. But if we don't have stability in our body, if we're loose and we're slouching and we don't have alignment, you can't coordinate breath. And if we don't have stability in the body, we can't coordinate breath. And the stability in the body adds to your resonance and projection. So let's feel the muscles that engage when we are anchoring. We're talking about head and neck, so I just want you to put your hand behind your head if you can, and just kind of lean into that hand. Feel a little bit of engagement. And we're going to think of everything that we do right now on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most and 1 being the least. Go ahead and release that. So before we move on, everybody put your fingers together like this and press them together at a 10. And you'll feel that all of this gets tight, maybe your bicep engaged, maybe even some muscles in your neck. Now go to a 1. All of that went away. Let's cut that in half and do a 5. And now a 2 effort level, and then a 7, and then a 5, back to 2. So everything I have you do today, you just need a little more effort, a 2. But we're not going to ever really probably do a 10, because that's going to make us bear down. Does anybody know the primary function of our larynx? It's to keep us alive and protect our airway. So our larynx, we are wired for survival. And our larynx is here to make sure that no food or drink gets into our lungs. So its primary function is not communication, and it's definitely not singing. So it is kind of an unnatural act when you think about it. If we are wired for survival, we have to manage the nervous system and all of these functions to communicate properly. Yeah. Okay, so back to anchoring. We're going to do praying hands and press our hands together at a 5. Press them at a 10. Press them at a 2. You feel these pecs engage. Then we need our lats. So that's this muscle back here. So if you make a diamond with me with your arms, and you pull your elbows to your ribs as if through quicksand, we feel our shoulder blades roll down our back, and we get a little crunch on that latissimus dorsi. Let's do that again. So we're pulling it through some resistance. And notice, did that make you pick your sternum up? So release your arms, but stay up, right? So we can improve our posture by accessing these muscles. Just think for a moment of being in church or something, and there's ladies talking behind you, and you really want to know what they're saying, but you don't want to do that. So you just lift and kind of listen. Can you listen behind you? Can you flare your nostrils across your face? That engages muscles that stabilize your head. So if you inhale into that feeling before you speak, you can actually add clarity to your voice. Good. Okay. So now let's just take our hands around our neck here. And I want you to close your eyes and just breathe for a second. Notice the warmth of the air in through your nose, out through your mouth. We're meant to be nose breathers because that purifies and moisturizes the air. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Imagine, if you could, that the air comes in and fills up all the little nooks and crannies around your larynx. Doesn't really happen, but we're going to imagine that it does. That you're breathing light and warmth into the spaces around your larynx. And in a moment, you're just going to repeat after me and say, "Happy birthday to you."
Happy birthday to you.
Good, and let's take a couple more breaths. We're going to think about our volume now on a scale of 1 to 10, and let's choose a 5, which is going to be in the middle. And we're going to try it again. You'll repeat after me. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Good. You can drop your hands now, but keep your eyes closed, and we're going to make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. And I want you to actually put one hand on your chest and one hand over your belly button. You can feel your breath. So we're going to inhale again through our nose, out through our mouth. And in a second, we're just going to let out a hum together like this. Good. One more time. Inhale. Good. These types of things can help to regulate our nervous system because vibration stimulates our vagus nerve, which runs the length of our body and is our rest and digest nerve. So if we need to be out of our state of fight or flight, we need to stimulate the vagus nerve. So deep breathing and vibration are really great ways to do that. One more time. So we're going to inhale and let out that hum. And everybody say, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Good. Notice for yourself what happened to your voice. I heard a collective clarity in the room. I heard a collective projection in the room because you were no longer holding in your body. You can open your eyes. Right? So that, just that 2 minutes of breathing, alignment, intentionality, relaxation, but relaxation doesn't mean to let everything go. You had the structure and the breath working to feel that power in your voice. Okay? Good, so let's feel our vocal cords here for a second. So everybody's going to take a breath. These are our vocal folds. Do this with me. So our vocal folds are housed here in our larynx. They're very small. They're no bigger than your pinky nail. And we're going to take a breath and hold our breath. Something is stopping the air. So, can anybody guess what it is? It's our vocal folds. So let's go ahead and inhale with open vocal folds, and then we're going to hold our breath, and you're going to do this with your fingers. Okay? So we go. One more time, inhale. Good, so we're going to voice that now. So I'm going to inhale, close my vocal folds, and then add some voice to it. Yeah, one more time. Good, so what I want you to make sure that you do is that you just make that clear beginning. Everybody say, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Good, so that is making your vocal folds close and suck together at the optimal level. We don't want them to clench, but we do want them to close. So if you're somebody who wants clarity and more volume, you might need more vocal fold closure. So you can practice things like, uh-oh. Everybody's trying.
Uh-oh.
Right, so we feel that pop. We feel that very clear beginning. We don't hear, ha-ho. Everybody do that.
Uh-oh.
Right, so that aspirate onset, aspirate being breathy, will encourage a breathy tone. So if you're leading with, then our vocal folds are not closed in the back, and we become breathy. Everybody do your customer service voice, and we're going to speak, and we're going to count to 5, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great, very useful in certain situations, but maybe not for public speaking, right? One more time, breathy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, now you're going to take an inhale. You're going to hold your breath for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, let's do that again. So just so you understand, we're practicing the closure, and then we're speaking, which made all of you louder, right, and clearer. So let's feel that. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, excellent job. Another one of our bumper stickers that we're going to remember from this class is to breathe for the task. We want to breathe for the task at hand. So if we're not used to managing and regulating our breath, this is also very unnatural for us because we breathe all day without thinking about it. It is a function that keeps us alive. We are wired for survival. However, it is also a function that we can control, right? I can choose to breathe deeper. I can choose to slow my breath down. I can take a bigger breath for longer sentences and a shorter breath for shorter sentences. Not every breath is the same, but if we practice the alignment and we practice that feeling of calm, deep, low breathing, we can manage the quantity of air, which is important because if we don't have enough breath pressure, we can feel breathy and unsupported. And if we have too much, we can feel tight and gravelly and like our voice is going to crack, you know. So what we're going to teach you today is called a recoil breath to help you start to gauge volume of air. Okay, so we talked about alignment, we talked about anchoring, we talked about vocal fold closure. Whose brain is ready to explode? Are you good? Okay, so it's a taste. But now we're talking about volume of air in our lungs. So let's find our little lobster claws. We're going to hook them around our rib cage here. And we're just going to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And see if you can focus on moving your hands, getting your rib cage to move your hands out of the way. Yeah, so that it doesn't feel like you're breathing up by your clavicle, but it feels like you're filling your lungs from the bottom of your lungs to the top. So this ribcage expansion in every direction is what we want to focus on because most of us probably breathe here in these upper ribs. So when we're talking about that nervousness, we need to get oxygen in our bloodstream. We need to breathe deeper because that is going to be our best friend for calming and regulating in high stakes situations, which could be giving a speech at Toastmasters, you know. So, great. Now, we're going to inhale